or against or abstention. I just need to cross out who's. Okay, so if everybody unmutes ready, please. And we start with myself. I'm for. Councillor De Serbo.
Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry to interrupt. Just to make everybody aware now that if anyone is looking at the people tab, you will see that Cloudy Training have now joined us as well. The intention being that they will, as soon as they are able, to start the live stream on YouTube, just so that you're aware of that as well.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Right, Councillor De Serbo, for, against or abstain? For. Councillor Fraser.
For.
Councillor Golding.
For, Chair.
Councillor Greenwood.
For.
Councillor Holton Davis. You need to unmute, Penny.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Cavarana.
For.
Councillor Kent.
For.
Councillor Odnuo.
For.
Councillor Oguntola.
For.
Councillor Pafford.
For.
Councillor Petchy.
For.
Councillor Uranta.
For.
That's 13, so that's unanimous for the motion. Thank you. Go on to item little 2, which is split in 2 parts. Statutory guidance on local government investments. Committee received and noted the statutory guidance on local government investments, the 3rd edition, resolving that it be forwarded to Council for further consideration. Committee resolved to recommend to Council that the investment strategy be redrafted to incorporate the guidelines set out in the statutory guidelines on local government investments. This will then be reviewed at the next meeting of Finance, Administration and Policy Committee. Make that a proposal. Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Does anybody wish to speak? Brian. You seconding, Brian, or?
I was, yeah.
Okay, does anybody want to speak? I've got Dominic's hand up. Does he want to speak? Okay, if that's the case, we'll go straight to the vote. And again, if you make sure you're unmuted so that we can get straight onto it. Councillor Baines, I'm for. Councillor De Serbo.
For.
Councillor Fraser.
For.
Councillor Golding.
Yeah, for, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Greenwood.
For.
Councillor Holton Davis.
For.
Councillor Cavarana.
For.
Councillor Kent.
For.
Councillor Odnuo.
For.
Councillor Oguntola.
For.
Councillor Pafford.
For.
Councillor Petchy.
For.
And Councillor Uranta.
For.
Thank you. That is unanimous. And that we now go on to the 3rd one there, which is the review of the asset register. Committee reviewed and recommended the asset register for acceptance by Council. I make that a proposition. Is there a seconder?
Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody wish to speak? I think all questions that were asked by the committee were resolved. So hopefully everyone's been through that. I take that as a no. Again, I need to go through the same process, which is for this. Councillor Baines, I'm for. Councillor De Serbo.
For.
You're for, Councillor Elaine. Yeah, thank you. Sorry, Councillor Fraser.
4.
Councillor Golding.
4.
Councillor Greenwood.
4.
Councillor Holton Davis. You're muted again, Penny.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Cavarana.
4.
Councillor Kent.
4.
Councillor Odunuwu.
4.
Councillor Oguntola.
4.
Councillor Pafford.
4.
Councillor Petchy.
4.
Councillor Uranta. Thank
4.
Thank you very much. That was unanimous. The final part on here is item 4, the little 4. Draft minute 12519, Parish Council draft financial accounts 2019-2020 year end at page 41. Committee resolves to recommend to Council the draft accounts detailing the financial position of the Parish Council as at the 31st of March 2020 be accepted. I'll make that a proposal. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Anybody wish to speak? Ask questions? I will take that as a no. We'll go straight to the votes. Councillor De Serbo.
4. 4.
Thank you. Councillor Fraser.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Golding.
4.
Councillor Greenwood.
4.
Councillor Holton Davis.
4.
Councillor Cavarana.
4.
Councillor Kent.
4.
Councillor Odunuwu.
4.
Councillor Oguntola.
4.
Councillor Pafford.
4.
Councillor Petchy.
4.
Councillor Uranta.
4.
Thank you. Item 10, coronavirus pandemic. Parish Council response, further measures and contingency. Council is invited to note the actions carried out in response to the coronavirus pandemic. See items 5 and 6 for reports. And then consider any additional measures for contingency plans that it might wish to implement as a consequence of the ongoing situation. Additional measures and contingency plans to include those that would ordinarily be advanced by committees of council. Clerk, I believe you have something on that.
Thank you, Chair. It's to do with the work of Age UK, who are actively working within the parish. They're currently working with at least 41 of our residents, and the number is increasing on a regular basis. I think that I'm actually going to ask Councillor Odunuwu to talk a little bit more about the service, because she's actually personally involved in part of the delivery, so she could give us all an idea of exactly what's involved. But they have contacted us amongst other parish councils whose areas they're working in, to see whether we would support a grant going to them to continue their work, and they would like us to consider making a grant of between £500 and £1,000. Maybe Councillor Odunuwu would like to tell us now a bit more about the service itself. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Brian, I have seen you, but I do need to get the information through from Crispina. Crispina.
Thank you, Chair. At the moment, what it is that I'm on their register to go shopping, get meds for the vulnerable and those who are not able to leave their homes. So what they do is they send you an email in the morning and ask you if you're able to deliver to at most 3 people that day. And you are entitled to say no if you can't. If you can, they'll send you a list of items that are required, and they'll also send you the address and telephone number for the people that you'll be delivering to. So what I do is once I've got that information, I give them a call and I ask them how they would like their shopping done. So sometimes they prefer cash. Sometimes they'll give you their card. To get their card, you need to have a authorization form, which you can get from the main office in Parish. That just gives you the authorization to show them that you're from Age UK, and then they'll give you their card to go and do shopping for them. That's about it, really. And then also you get meds from, mainly I go to Bradwell Common because it's obviously the parish that it's the closest one for the parish that we're dealing with. So I go to Bradwell Common to get the meds. That's it. I think you're also entitled to claim mileage. I haven't. It's a charitable thing for me, so I'm not claiming mileage. But I think that's it. If there are any questions about something you want to know, I'm happy to tell you.
Thank you. Brian.
Certainly within this situation, what's been gone at the moment, on Fishmead, for example, the doctor's surgery, they've worked out a very efficient system, and they are liaising with the chemist on there, I know, and the deliveries are being made with the help of Age UK, and I think this is a prime opportunity for us to support them with a grant of £1,000, and I would like to propose that.
Thank you. I've got Catherine Kent.
Yes, this is not actually a question. This is information. I don't know if UK has got Age UK has got the information. I've been in touch with my GP today because a group phoned me up saying they wanted details of what I was doing while I'm locked down. It's called Shields. Now, there is a group of people who are locked down, and they are locked down under Shields. But there is other groups coming online to get information from the people of what's going on. Now, the doctor has told me that there is a lot of scammers out there using this process. Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we've got a proposal on the table, and I just want to say that make sure everyone's aware that Understanding Orders Council can give up to £1,000 grant without having any special things we need to do. And from Section 139, it would normally be dealt with by Community and Social Wellbeing. So yes, we can do that. And did we have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to speak? Brian, can you cancel your hands up, please?
Hands up.
I think if you give them the grant, sorry.
Tom, I see you, Tom. What?
Okay. You want me to speak now?
Yes, please.
I think we've got to go a step further. I've been taking people to hospital, and the hospital have been sending them to Newport Pagnell, to a clinic up there, and there's no method of getting there. And the people, they're a bit strapped for cash anyway. Taxis are out, so they've got to try and work with buses. I think we've got to support any of these sorts of initiatives if it's possible, because it is a drain. Obviously, I'm not working, so it doesn't really bloody matter. But I think we've got to either stop Milton Keynes Hospital just saying, "Oh, go to Newport Pagnell," as though it's, you know, just across the road. But I think this sort of thing, this initiative, I think we should support it 100% and look for others in a similar vein. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can you just cancel your hand up, please? Elaine, I see you.
Yeah, what I was thinking there was I definitely think that we should support this initiative. And if we can give £1,000 and we're currently supporting 41 people, if we talk to Age UK and possibly we could advertise it on our Facebook page, that this could maybe have a wider reach if we know about it and we feel that we're supporting it, and it would be good for the parish for people, residents, to know that we're supporting this initiative, and if they need it, let them know.
Thank you. You can cancel your hands up, please.
Yeah.
So I can see nobody else that wants to speak. So again, I'm going to go to the vote on this, and the proposal is that we grant £1,000 to Age UK on this project.
Yeah.
So okay, myself, I'm for. Councillor De Serbo.
For.
Councillor Fraser.
For.
Councillor Golding.
For.
Councillor Greenwood.
For.
Councillor Holton Davis.
For.
Councillor Cavarana.
For.
Thank you. Councillor Kent.
For.
Councillor Odnu.
For.
Councillor Oguntola.
For.
Councillor Pafford.
For.
Councillor Petchy.
For.
Councillor Uranta.
For.
Thank you very much. Again, that is unanimous. That we will deal with that very shortly. Item 11, parish briefing note, casual parish council and coronavirus regulations. Council is invited to note that the briefing note from Milton Keynes Council relating to filling casual council parish council vacancies in the period to May 2021. Has everybody seen that? Does anybody need to speak on it? Is there anything you need to say on that, Dominic?
Not really, Chair, other than there won't be an election under any circumstances until May next year.
That's right, yes. So if anybody does decide, we will then run without an election. There will be no elections of any type until May next year. And then when we are elected, it will be for 3 years only. So it's only voted to no, unless anybody wants to speak. No. Okay, thank you. That's noted. National Association of Local Councils and Buckinghamshire and Milton Keynes Association Local Councils plus LCR publication annual subscription renewal. Council is invited to renew its annual subscription to Bucks and Milton Keynes Association Local Councils at 367. The National Association of Local Councils at 797.62, and the LCR publication, 4 editions, 20 copies, £270. Is there a proposal that we pay that? Thank you, Brian. Is there a seconder?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Anybody wish to speak? I'll take that as a no. So again, we'll go straight. Councillor Baines is yes. For Councillor De Serbo. For.
For. Yes.
Thank you. Councillor Fraser.
For.
Councillor Golding.
For.
Councillor Greenwood.
For.
Councillor Holton Davis.
For.
Councillor Cavarana.
For.
Councillor Kent.
For.
Councillor Odnu.
For.
Councillor Oguntola.
For.
Councillor Pafford.
For.
Councillor Petchy.
For.
Councillor Uranta.
For.
Thank you very much. That's read. That's carried unanimously. Item 13, Homeground Magazine Future Publication Dates, report number C03-20, page 53. I'm going to hand this one over to Nana.
Okay, I need to go and get the page. I think everybody's got that. It's on page 53, and it's looking at getting the next home ground up and out. First recommendation is council is invited to consider moving the publication date for the summer, autumn and winter editions to August, November and February, and to approve the content. I do know that somebody came back to us and said they weren't sure about moving the dates. So if there's any suggestions on those new dates, that would be great. Or if you're happy for us to continue with these suggestions. So the next edition will be August. Are we happy with that?
Okay, Dominic, I saw your hand up.
Thank you, Chair. That was actually a comment from Councillor Dixon.
Yeah.
I don't think appreciated at the time that she was commenting on the time between the January and the August, but of course we did a virtual edition in April, so I think that was the only comment that we actually received, Chair.
Thank you very much. Brian?
Can we propose, does anybody have any? Oh, Brian, yeah.
If you're proposing, I would second it with the proviso that it is important that we probably need the space in time to make sure we do get a physical magazine out this time after not being able to last time.
Agreed.
Thank you very much. So I've got a proposal and a seconder for moving the dates and the content. Does anybody else wish to speak?
No, agree.
I mean, would any of the
No. So
councillors
again, we're going to the.
Would any of the councillors?
Nana?
Would any of the? I know Crispina said she'd do an article. Would any other councillors like to send in articles about their experience during this time?
I do one.
Post organisation.
Okay, can we, those councillors that do want to do that, if they go back to Nana, I'm certainly doing my chair's report and the finance report to go in. So yeah, that'll be going in. And if you want anything else, Nana, just give me a shout. Elaine.
Also, if you can send it to me, if you can send as well any organisations that you'd like us to feature.
Yeah,
just do that. Yes, Elaine.
I think it would be quite good to feature each concern since we're giving them a grant.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Talk to Age UK. See if they want to put an article in. Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's been proposed and seconded. So we're going to go to the vote if nobody else wants to speak. And I'm up. So we'll start off with myself, and I'm for. Councillor Serbo.
For.
Councillor Fraser.
For.
Councillor Golding.
For.
Councillor Greenwood.
4.
Councillor Holton Davis.
4.
Councillor Cavarana.
4.
Councillor Kent.
4.
Councillor Odnuo.
4.
Councillor Oguntola.
4.
Councillor Pafford.
4.
Councillor
4.
Pesci.
4.
And Councillor Uranta.
4.
Thank you. Again, that's unanimous. So that will be going through. And again, if you've got anything you want to put in, let Nana know, and it will be then dealt with as and when. Okay, item 14, the Parish Council obelisk. Council is invited to note that the previously agreed proposal to relocate the obelisk to an alternative site will not be possible due to the prohibitive cost involved and the value of the initiative. With Council agreeing that the obelisk should remain in the current location if the relocation was not possible, Council is invited to receive a verbal report from myself regarding the proposal that the obelisk be designated as the new City of Milton Keynes Uniformed Services Memorial with external funding used for the upkeep of the obelisk. And this is obviously a project that the mayor, the current mayor, and I have been working on. The moving of the obelisk came out to around £35,000 because of the specialist cranes and everything else that we would have to use. And to be honest, that just was not possible. So why not use the obelisk where it is, with its really good pathway through to the city centre? It's an ideal location in one of the oldest estates in Milton Keynes, in the Donut Ring, and would mean that it would be somewhat of a kudos for this council that the Uniformed Services Memorial, which includes police, fire brigade, prison service, ambulance service, nurses, and of course military. And I am really, really keen that we actually do this. So much so that I would like to make it a proposal that council with the usage and it stays where it is. Okay, thank you. Do I get a seconder?
Second that.
Thank you. Does anybody wish to speak? David.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, I'm just trying to unlock myself. Yes, but the only trouble, Terry, is that it's fairly mundane as it stands at the moment. There's nothing around it telling you anything what it's for, its purpose. It's right next to the underpass. Can we have something to actually put some information in there? You know, even though it's been supported and provided by the parish council, there is absolutely nothing there at all. So can we do something to upgrade that as well, please?
Thank you. That is something that will come along once we get the okay from here. I need the okay from council first before I can get into that detail. I have actually already spoken with Dominic, and Dominic's come up with some ideas. And of course, we intend to have the obelisk done, so it's actually a stonemason will actually carve into it and get the actual description in place. And then, of course, it means it will be the only memorial for all of the city for our uniform services. So if any of those are unfortunate enough to perish in service, their name would be added to the memorial. So that was that one. Who else? Martin.
Sorry, I was only going to ask, Chair, do we have a definition of uniform services? And also, where is the external funding that you're proposing going to come from?
Okay. The current mayor has already been speaking to the chief constable, the PCC, the head of the fire brigade, the head of the ambulance service and the prison service, and with the nurses union, and they have all currently come back favourably to help with funding. And of course, they can come back to us and ask for a grant. They can parish councils and ask for a grant. The upkeep of the obelisk, to be honest, it's cost us absolutely nothing in the years it's been there, and I don't see that it will cost a huge amount of money going forward. Is that okay, Martin?
That answers the question completely.
Thank you very much. Ray.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I'm totally supportive of this, so I would be more than happy to second it. It does sit in a prime location. I know it's people think it's out of the way, but the amount of foot traffic that goes through there on a daily basis since this lockdown, and I've having to do my walking around, I've noticed that there are lots of people using these redways, so I'm totally supportive of it, and I'm more than happy to second that.
Thank you very much. Elaine.
I am absolutely 100% behind. I never knew why we were going to move it in the first place, but I could understand that they wanted it to be a feature for the whole of the city. But I get your point. I think it would be really good to stay here, and maybe we could have a rededication for it when we get to the plaques on it. And yeah, good. Keep it.
Thank you very much. That will certainly happen. I've got Tubo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, you see, I am also happy that it is now going to be designated in our parish. After all, it has been a bit of a talking point since last year, and to a point when we have to give it away free to the city, to the district council, and yet we can see now that the cost is astronomical. And to me, I feel probably creating what David called, a better awareness or cleaner environment wherever it is now, and making people use them will be the appropriate thing to do. Thank you, Chief. I will support that.
Thank you very much. Martin, Martin, your hand's up. Do you still want to speak? You want to speak again, or?
No, sorry, Chair, I hadn't taken my hand down.
Thank you very much. I see Catherine Kent. Catherine.
Yeah, the office has been there for a long time, so I'm glad it's going to stay there. I don't want to see it wandering off somewhere else. But we plant a lot of bulbs and flowers around the parish. Is there any way of actually putting a good garden area there, surrounding it with a small fence, so that it highlights it's there for a reason, and it's something to whoever goes there to lay anything? It's not just that the bare stone. There'll be other flowers there and things to make it look more appealing.
Thank you for that. Of course, that can be dealt with through our landscape contract, because we actually look after the area there. Obviously, we don't own the land, so if we were wanting to put a fence around it, we would have to ask Milton Keynes Council, and that winded. But obviously, yes, everything is possible if we do it the right way. I see nobody else is there to speak, so I'm just going to sum up briefly. Thank you, everybody, for the support on this. It's something that we've tried to do for a while. Fortunately, with Sam Crooks as the mayor, it's brought it to a head. I've already had the discussion with Andrew Geary, who takes over tomorrow night as mayor of Milton Keynes, and he is 100% behind it. And again, it will not take very much money to this obelisk, with money coming in from the uniform services. So we have a proposal on the table, which is as read at item 14. So we're going to go for the vote now.
Chair.
Yes, Dominic.
I'm glad to confirm that Councillor Dixon is now with us, so if you could include Councillor Dixon in the vote. And I wonder if I could just, I see Councillor Dixon is here, but I missed when she actually arrived. Maybe Val could confirm if she came in during the course of this item.
Yeah, Val. Did you hear all of this item, or did you come in?
Yes, sorry, I
halfway through
had to unmute. I came in halfway through it.
Okay,
thank you.
So you read. Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that. Was that all of it?
Yes, that's fine, Chair. Thank
you very much. It means I'll add you to the voting. So I'm going to start with myself, and obviously I'm a 4. Councillor De Servo.
4.
Councillor Dixon.
4.
Councillor Fraser.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Golding.
4.
Councillor Greenwood.
4.
Councillor Holton Davis.
4.
Councillor Cavarana.
4.
Councillor Kent.
4.
Councillor Odnuwu.
4.
Councillor Oguntola.
4.
Councillor Pafford.
4.
Councillor Pecci.
4.
And Councillor Uranta.
4.
Thank you. That was unanimous in favour, and that will make a big difference. I will ask the clerk to email Councillor Crooks, if he would do it tomorrow, please, Dominic, so he can actually release that tomorrow night before he finishes as the mayor. And I think he's put so much work into it. I think it's the best way to go on that. Thank you, members. Item 15, which is a members' item from myself. Due to safety fears, the flying of any type of drone is from any land owned or leased by Campbell Park Parish Council. And I'm making that a proposal, but I am going to explain why. I sat down in the 4x4 beside the landscape depot in Oldbrook Green. There were children playing with their parents, and a gentleman was there flying a drone at 3 to 4 foot off the deck at speeds in excess of 20 miles an hour. If that drone had hit a small child, I think it would have been catastrophic. If it had hit an adult, I think it would have caused injury. And I think we need to protect the people that use Oldbrook Green and all of our open spaces from this type of risk. Thank you. Oh, yes, I have got people wish to speak. I got Ray wish to speak.
Yeah, thanks, Chair.
You've got mine up.
Yeah, I've got you as well, Brian. Right.
Yeah, 2 points. One is I totally agree, and I'd like to second that again. And just picking up with regards the motorised scooters as well that came out of the last meeting. I think these are much more dangerous than the scooters, to be honest. They don't seem to have any control over them when they're flying them, and definitely they shouldn't be flying them in a public area. So thank you for that, Chair.
Thank you. Brian.
Okay. Drones in general, as far as I'm concerned, should be banned. I had a long conversation about 6 months ago with a long-standing pilot, aircraft pilot, and he is of the opinion that one day one of these will cause a catastrophic accident. So, as far as I'm concerned, they should be banned full stop. They serve no useful purpose that cannot be achieved by other means. Thank you.
Thank you very much. David Pafford.
Sorry, I was just unmuting myself. Yes, Chair, thank you for that. How are we going to advertise this? It's all very well saying in committee, you know, we're going to ban this, but it's like a lot of things that happen on our landscaping. Are we going to upgrade, you know, in terms of any notices to inform people that we are actually banning that type of equipment on our fields? Thank you.
We will have to, and yes, I had the discussion with the environment officer and with Dominic, and they are actually due to be reviewed anyway. We do need to look at it. There are things we need to get on there to make sure it's clear that we do not allow this type of activity on any of our land. Yes, it will mean a little bit of expense, changing the signs, adding bits to it, but I think it's well worthwhile. I've got Martin, and then I've got Tom.
Right, two points, Chair, one of which is apropos of the discussion, which is would Dominic advise us that we ought to do this through a bylaw which would give us actual powers to, if not prosecute, then at least take some sort of action against offenders, rather than just making a broad declaration, which I agree is a good thing. But secondly, can I reply to Brian's point about what use of drones? Speaking as a now retired archaeologist, they revolutionized the photography and recording of archaeological sites. Whereas before we used to have to go up on top of a very rickety scaff towers, now we can just fly a drone and take pictures of the site without putting ourselves at risk. So there is at least one good use for them, even if a lot of the rest of them aren't.
Thank you very much, Tom.
And
Thank you, Chair. I seem to remember way back in the 1990s, we had this was raised then, and there was it went through Milton Keynes Council, and you could fly rubber powered models, but models which had motors in them, if you like, had to go just north of Cosgrove. There's a big field up there that they allow aircraft to take off and land, and you could have 10-foot wingspan models if you wanted. I think I've got to question banning drones, because they are an invaluable tool in a number of areas for search, areas of security. And I think, as Martin has alluded, archaeology would be in a very different place if it wasn't for drones. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Tom. I've got Elaine.
Hi. The thing that I was thinking about was if for instance, I do get your point about it being low. So is there perhaps a sort of halfway that we could allow drones if it was higher, like a certain, they have to be a certain height? Because if somebody was wanting to go in and film our parish and make a picture, or if you were looking at the litter or the rubbish, I'm just making an example, that it might be quite a useful tool that we could use. So I'm just thinking is, could we have a height restriction so that you can't come below a certain level, a bit like the planes, low flying planes? It's just a thought. I think it could be built in. Sorry.
Thank you, Elaine. I've got Nana.
Okay, I was just going to kind of just say what Elaine's just mentioned. Just a few months ago or last year at council, a film company asked for permission to do some, drone filming. So for it to be just completely banned, I think it's a bit drastic because it takes away then people who might want to use drones for something useful like filming, archaeology, whatever. So you have to look for some kind of middle ground where maybe it's about leisure droning, or using drones for leisure is not allowed, but using drones for a certain purpose for filming. I mean, to say we cannot film all of Campbell Park using a drone from the top is a bit drastic. So I think we need to look at that a bit more.
Chair, can you hear me?
Thank you for that. And before I go to Brian for his second bite, I would like to, if that's the case, I hear what people are saying, and I would like to make an amendment to my proposal, and that is we change it from any type of drone is prohibited to only authorised drones are permitted on any land or owned, or like that would then cover license people that ask us for permission with licenses, and I think that would help. I would of course need a seconder for that.
I will second that, Chair.
Thank you, Tom, and I will accept that amendment. So it now becomes part. Right, okay, I've got Brian first.
I just want to pick up on the points that have been thrown back at me, and I'll stick by what I said, that these things go within the air. The air is taken up most time. The people who've got the most experience are the people that fly planes. And for Elaine's point about should there be higher, that is exactly the point, that people are abusing. I take what Martin's saying, but I still stick by what I said, that there is other methods that can find out what these drones do. It's another case of technology making things easier and stopping people doing what they had to do in the past.
Thank you, Brian. Before I go anywhere, I've got Dominic.
Thank you, Chair. Just whilst you've been talking, I've just been looking at the regulations for drones in the UK, and there are a number of them, and including there's a maximum weight that you can't fly above 400 feet in altitude or 500 meters from you horizontally. There's restrictions around, as we've mentioned, about the aircraft, helicopters and airports. It says you must not fly within 50 meters of people, vehicles, buildings or vessels. Your drone must not be flown within 150 meters of a congested area or any large group of people, such a concert or sporting event, as you may be prosecuted. And that's just a number, and I've just taken that from the Nottinghamshire Police. So
and everybody takes
the activities that you're talking about, Chair, are already governed under those laws.
Thank you. So we can actually go for authorised only on our land. We can.
Absolutely.
And now the other question is whether or not we would want to make it a. Would you like to speak on that, Dominic, as to what we would need to do as a council?
Thank you, Chair. There have been any number of activities on Oldbrook Green and some of our other sites across the years, and it's never easy to be able to engage with people and try to educate them and encourage them to change their activity. A bylaw, I would have to look into any kind of precedent associated with one associated with drones. It may well be useful, but if you're trying to talk to somebody that's going to take no notice of that whatsoever, it becomes a challenge in the same way if you just put additional signage up or if you change your website. So it's something I'd have to look into, Chair, to be honest.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't see anybody else wanting to speak. Everybody there has spoken. So the motion would be, due to safety fears, the flying of any unauthorised drone is prohibited on any land owned or leased by Campbell Park Parish Council. That is proposed and seconded. So nobody else has got their hand up to speak.
There are 3 hands up here.
Yeah, they've all spoken.
Nana.
They've all spoken to you both. Thank you. So we'll go to the vote. We'll start with myself. I'm a 4. Councillor De Serbo.
Sorry, Chair. I'm just.
Did you amend it to? Did you read out the amended version?
Yes, we had an amendment proposed and seconded.
The licence, yes, I'll vote for that.
Thank you. Who's got a phone? I'll go in.
Hello, I'm in the middle of a meeting.
Okay. Councillor Dixon.
Bye.
Councillor Dixon, are you muted?
Sorry, yes, I'm 4.
Councillor Fraser.
4.
Councillor Golding.
Yeah, 4, Chair.
Councillor Greenwood.
4.
Councillor Holton Davis.
4.
Councillor Cavarana.
Abstain.
Abstain. Councillor Kent.
4.
Councillor Odnuo.
4.
Councillor Oguntola.
4.
Councillor Pafford.
4.
Councillor Petchy.
4.
Councillor Uranta.
Abstaining, Chair.
Thank you. 12-4, 2 abstentions, so that motion is carried. Thank you. Council is invited to note and retrospectively approve the extension of the IT managed Cloudy IT by 12 months to the end of April 2021. Monthly cost of the contract is 1,334 excluding VAT. Council is further invited to note that the previously agreed migration to Microsoft 365, including associated hardware, has been completed at a cost of 10,246 excluding VAT. So what we're asking you to do is to agree retrospectively to approve the extension of the IT contract that the clerk, under the powers that were given to the clerk with working with myself and the vice chair, would have already agreed to. Brian, you want to speak?
Just approve, that's all. Go with it.
You want to propose it?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Actually, probably better if you don't propose it. You don't need because you've been involved. So any other councillor other than myself and Brian? Thank you, Elaine.
I'll happily propose it.
Thank you. And is there a
I'll second that, Terry.
seconder?
I'll second
Thank
that,
you.
Terry.
Thank you very much. And I see Nana with her hand up.
It's okay. I was going to propose a second, but it's
All right.
fine.
Thank you very much. Does anybody else want to speak? Can you cancel your hand then, Nana, please? Just press the hand again. That's it. Thank you. If there nobody else wants to speak, then I will go.
I just wanted
Straight.
to say
Again, this one needs to be. Go on, Elaine.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that actually I found Cloudy through the migration. They're very professional. They can't do enough to help us. They're on hand for a new meeting. It's been brilliant. They've had a lot of work and they've done really well.
Thank you very much. And those of us that worked through Mirus will know just how different it really is.
Yes.
So, okay, so we're going for the votes. Councillor Baines, I'm 4. Councillor De Serbo.
4.
Councillor Dixon.
4.
Thank you. Councillor Fraser.
4.
Councillor Golding.
4.
Councillor Greenwood.
4.
Councillor Holton Davis.
4.
Councillor Cavarana.
4.
Councillor Kent.
4.
Councillor Odnuo.
4.
Councillor Oguntola.
4.
Councillor Pafford.
For.
Councillor Petchy.
For.
Councillor Uranta.
For. Can you?
Thank you. Again, that's unanimous. Thank you,
Elaine,
members.
Elaine, can you remove your hand up, please?
Item 17, setting the dates, times and place of ordinary meetings of the full council for the year ahead, page 55. That is the calendar you've got here. And Elaine, is this you've actually sent out by email that's in the pack, or is it the one that's sent out by email that we're considering?
Chair, it's the schedule that I sent out by email, not the one in the pack.
Thank you very much. So can we please everybody rid yourself of the one that's in the pack, and everyone has one sent out by email. And we are consider the draft schedule. Schedule to be adopted upon further relaxation of the current restrictions with a reduced meeting schedule used. I think we'll be very lucky if we manage to get through the rest of this year and getting into full meetings, because the way things are going, I think I can't see the social distancing being shut down or the numbers of people we would need for meetings. So again, this is providing we do get that. Does anybody wish to speak, or is anybody prepared to propose setting the dates and time? Brian, thank you. Is there a seconder?
Yes.
Thank you, Chibo. Does anybody wish to say anything? And you will see that there is a change to the finance and administration one in June, simply because I believe I'm going to be back in work on the 1st of June, so I can't do an afternoon meeting. And as a chair of that committee, we need to get it back to the evening. Anybody else wish to speak? I would take that as a no. All those in favour? I think this is okay. Can we just show a raise of hands? Can everyone use their hand up, please, for in favour? I've run out of sheets.
Chair.
Can you see our hands?
Yes, I can see your hands, and I'm just going to make sure that we've got everybody on, everybody that can vote. That is. I don't have Catherine Kent, I don't have Penny, and I don't have Val. So that's on your taskbar. There's a hand.
Yes.
So just press the hand if you're in favour.
There isn't a hand on my taskbar.
Was that Val?
Yes, it was. Sorry.
Okay, so can you note Val's vote there, please? And the other two, Catherine Kent, and that's it. Catherine?
Yeah, fine.
Thank you very much. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Item 18, committee meeting dates. Planning, Infrastructure and Transport, Monday the 1st of June at 6:30. Finance, Administration Policy, Tuesday the 2nd of June at, it says here 2 p.m. It's not, it's 6:30. And any other committees to be convened as and when required and publicised on the Parish Council notice boards and website. And our next full council meeting will be on Tuesday, the 16th of June. And again, I'm pretty sure we will be holding it remotely. Members, can I thank you for your patience while we go through different procedures while we're on remote meetings, and also your professionalism, and just go out there and stay safe.
Thank you.
Around the table again at some point physically, we can manage to get back together as a council. So I now declare the meeting closed. Dominic, can you turn off the recording, please?
Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
Chair.
night, everyone.
Good
Well done.
night.
Well done.
Thank you, everybody.
Good job.
Just hit your red telephone bit to leave.
Bye for now.
Bye. Go up, go up, go up, go up.
So you read telephone, Penny, on the taskbar?
I've got it. I've got it. I've got to go down there. Okay.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
press on that red telephone.
I've got it. Good night.
Thank you. Good night. Take care. David, same with you. You all right with the red telephone?
I just wanted to raise a question, Chair.
Okay. It won't be recorded now, so.
No, it's fine. It's with regard to the software that we've got. With regard to Dominic, we've got certain councillors